How's it going, everyone? We've got quite a lot to talk about in this video. We've got a brand new Stellar Blade update that did just drop. One of the big PlayStation published titles of 2026 will be getting a closed beta here soon. We'll talk about that. Also, one of the better games of 2025 so far, and I know it's forgotten about at this stage of the game given that it came out in January, in my opinion, was Dynasty Warriors Origins. I love that game. I thought it was great. We have the announcement that that game will be getting some major DLC, and on top of that, there will be a Dynasty Warriors remastered game that will be coming out. Which Dynasty Warriors game is getting remastered? That we don't know. More on that at the end of this video. But first of all, Stellar Blade, a game that we've covered on this channel ad nauseum. I know it's a little bit quiet now that the PC release has happened, now that, you know, the PlayStation version has gotten its DLC. Hopefully there will be more DLC to come because I think there's opportunity to still make a lot of money and, you know, keep the game in the news cycle with a lot of DLC. But we do have a patch that has rolled out a bunch of new fixes, so Shift Up continues to improve the original game. Let's go over the fixes. Improve photo mode so that when selecting a logo, the logo control indicator is now displayed. Fix an issue where players were unable to exit the shop after purchasing the polarized sunglasses from Clyde's shop. Fix an issue where Eve's hair would not appear during the final cutscene when wearing the fluffy bear or pink bear outfits. Fix an issue where Eve's final line of dialogue would not display in Korean during the Lost Items in Heaven conversation with Clyde in the Great Desert. Fix an issue where Eve's arm would occasionally appear unnatural in photo mode when wearing the Black Pearl or Red Pearl outfits. When using FSR Upscaler, restarting the game is now required to enable frame gen. Fix an issue where the fusion weapon was not visible when beginning the fight against the Airborne squad after defeating Providence. Fix an issue when using the numpad on the keyboard to trigger skills in the training room cause the training system to become unresponsive. Fix an issue where when fishing the beta fish with mouse and keyboard, the gray striped pattern in the progress bar would obscure the real in progress bar. Fix an issue where when using the stinger, target lock-on would not function correctly under specific input conditions. Fix an issue where the zoom function in the hair salon menu would not respond to the controller or keyboard input, and fix an issue where dialogue would occasionally not display after interacting with Adam in the Eidos 9 Atelier. Fix an issue where Dorong would occasionally not appear during the introduction scene in Zion. Fix an issue where newly unlocked items would not immediately appear after increasing shop affinity level. Improve the save timestamp system so that the time since last save is now accurately displayed based on successful saves rather than attempted saves. Enhance the save failure message by changing it to yellow for better visibility, and various other bug fixes. So it's a patch rolling out just a lot of fixes and bug fixes, patches, UI improvements, things of that nature. No content or anything like that, but hopefully, again, like I said, I think there's still money to be made with Stellar Blade as far as doing crossover DLC, and I'm not saying the entirety of Shift Up should be working on doing crossover DLC, but a small team working on patches and working on potential crossover DLC. I don't know how much of the team is now shifting, no pun intended, to doing Stellar Blade 2, but we know that Stellar Blade 2 is in development. Now, some think that the game is going to come out in 2026 or before 2027. That was a window that was being thrown around. Guys, 2027 is 16 months away. It is August of 2025. They just finished development of the PC version. They even came out and said that they didn't know where that before 2027 window was coming out, and while they would love to hit that window, that would be too early. Think about game development cycle these days, you guys. Stellar Blade just came out in early 2024. Even if it's not this gargantuan open world title, still a 3-year turnaround time, or 2 years, because it would be before 2027. A 2-year turnaround time would be insane. If they could get it out in 2027, that would be a massive, and I cannot you know, exemplify how massive of a W that would be, but 2028 would be great as well, given that that's a 4-year window, and I think ideally we would like to get the game development window down to 4 years. 5 years I just think is insane when we have these game trilogies that take 5 to 7 years per game, and you're talking about a decade and a half or 2 decades going by from the announcement of the game to ultimately the trilogy being concluded. Like, that's insane. Like, there's actually the reality that many of us are not gonna make it to the end of these trilogies. Like, The Witcher 4 is kicking off this new Witcher trilogy. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end. I'm gonna just be real with you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be making it to the end of that, but I digress. Hopefully Stellar Blade 2 comes out in 2027, but I think 2028 would be great as well. And a lot of credit to Shift Up. I've been glazing them, as some people would say. I've been glazing Shift Up for all they've done with Stellar Blade, but this is how you promote a new IP. This is how you elevate a studio. This is how you build goodwill. And where I see so many developers and publishers mess up you know, game promotion, especially it sucks even more when you mess up game promotion of a storied IP like a Prince of Persia. But you know, with Stellar Blade, brand new IP, and they did an incredible job of elevating it and making it really well known in the entire gaming space, and I think Stellar Blade 2 will do incredibly well. Alright, moving on from that, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, being done by Arc System Works, being published by PlayStation, will be having a closed beta running from September 5th until September the 7th, and registration is now available via PlayStation.com. The closed beta test will feature 6 playable characters, online matches, spectator mode, a training tutorial, and more. So it is a closed beta. Hopefully they'll do an open beta maybe by the end of the year. That would be great. But you can register for that now. Evo is running. I think this game looks incredible, and I know that a large portion of our audience just inherently, they're not into fighting games, and I get that. But PlayStation publishing their own fighting game and it being a Marvel fighting game and it being done by Arc System Works, like, I think that makes a lot of sense. And this is one of those games that, you know, some people are talking about, you know, Xbox, all these PlayStation games coming to Xbox, and it just doesn't make sense for PlayStation to release all of their games on Xbox, but Helldivers 2, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls even, where they're games that are gonna get updated over time and they're gonna get DLC and things of that nature, I think that makes sense in terms of monetizing these games. I don't even know if Tokon Fighting Souls is a game that they would release on Xbox, but it's the type of game that I could see the argument being made. These people that are doing, oh my god, Spider-Man God of War coming to Xbox, I think they gotta pump the brakes a little bit on that one, given the current state of the market. But yeah, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, I could see that end up on Xbox like a year after release. I wouldn't be too surprised by that. But I think the game looks incredibly stylish. Arc System Works has done killer works on fighting games in the past, you know, with Dragon Ball FighterZ, the BlazBlue games I've always been a big fan of. I mean, BlazBlue Calamity Trigger was the last time I was super sweaty in a fighting game, so obviously, I'm gonna be more in line with a game like this, but I'll definitely check it out. And hey, looking ahead to 2026, man, after a couple quiet years, PlayStation's 2026 could end up being really good with Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, Saros, and throw in Wolverine ideally next year, and man, that's a good 3-pack of like quality published titles. I know Tokon Fighting Souls is a second-party game, but you know, the second-party games to go around the first-party releases, 2 major first-party games, a game like Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, man, I feel like we're cooking as far as 2026 is concerned, so good stuff ahead. Lastly, I do want to note that there was a Dynasty Warriors 25th anniversary trailer that did premiere at China Joy 2025, and it was confirmed that Dynasty Warriors Origins has major DLC in development. Now, I gushed about Dynasty Warriors Origins earlier in the year when it came out in January. Tecmo Koei sent me a copy of the game, very much appreciate that, but the game was awesome. I know a lot of the times if you guys watch your deals videos, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would spend $52 on that. Look, whenever a game is $52 and we're 6 months removed from the release of the game, I'm gonna be a little bit selective in recommending it. That doesn't mean I don't like the game, it's just, you know, I know a lot of our audience are budget-minded and they don't want to be spending north of $50 on a lot of games, and Dynasty Warriors Origins I thought was a really, really good game, and if you want to spend $50 on it, go for it. I do think that now that there's a major DLC in development, I don't know, there's probably going to be a complete edition that comes out, I don't know, just something to think about there, but I thought Dynasty Warriors Origins was awesome, man. I thought the soundtrack was great. I thought the story was super interesting. There was a lot of mystery to it. Had some replayability, a lot of optional content. Just a great game, and if you weren't a big Dynasty Warriors guy in the past, I thought Origins was a great game to jump into the franchise with, so definitely recommend that. And given that they say major DLC, looks like it'll be a sizable expansion. On top of that, they have announced that there will be a Dynasty Warriors remaster coming out as well. They haven't said which Dynasty Warriors it is, but it does suggest that it's a mainline title. I don't know, I'd be a sucker for a Dynasty Warriors Gundam remaster. I don't know who's got the rights to that. I think it's still Bandai Namco. But yeah, I would kill for a Dynasty Warriors Gundam remaster. But it is what it is. That'll do it for me. Again, Stellar Blade gets a surprise patch. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls will be getting a closed beta in September. Registration is open now. And Dynasty Warriors Origins has some major DLC in development. A remaster is coming as well. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.